Lesson 7-6, percent of change. Percent of change is a ratio that compares the change in quantity to the original amount. So the formula we use for percent of change is percent of change equals amount of change, so how much the change was, over the original amount, so what you started with. So let's take a look at an example calculating percent of change. Find the percent of change from 60 degrees to 84 degrees. State whether it's increase or decrease. So to find the percent of change, we want to find the difference between the two numbers. So we say 84 minus 60 over 60. So that is 24 over 60. So if you turn that into a decimal, you get 0.4, and then you turn that into a percent, which is 40%, and it's an increase. You determine if it's an increase or decrease by looking at the numbers. If it's an increase if it goes from a lower number to a higher number. It's a decrease if it goes from a higher number to a lower number. Pause the video to complete the examples below. Find the percent of change from 24 points to 18 points. So we first have to calculate the difference and then divide that number by our original number, which was 24. We can automatically tell that it's a decrease, and now we just have to find the percent. So we take 24 and we subtract 18 to get 6. We divide 6 by 24 and we get 0.25. So this comes to 25% decrease. Annabelle has 52 coloring books. Now she has 61 coloring books. So we can tell that it's an increase. And then we find the difference of 61 and 52 and divide that number by 52. So 61 minus 52 is 9. Divide 9 by 52 and get 0.17. So that becomes 17% increase. We can also use percent of change when we're thinking about grocery stores or shopping centers. Stores sell items for more than they pay for, and so this is what we call a markup. This is how stores and businesses make money. They pay $2 for an item and they may charge you $12. They have to make money. That's part of having a business. So a markup is when a store sells items for more than it pays for those items, and then the selling price is the amount the customer pays for an item. So the selling price is what you pay. The markup is how much the store charged you over what they paid. So let's look at an example. It says, find the selling price if a store pays $42 for a pair of rollerblades and the markup is 25%. So there's two ways that we can do this. The first one is to find the amount of markup first. So to do that, we're going to use the equation that we learned in previous unit of part equals percent times the whole. So we do not know what the part is, but we know that the percent is 25. So let's write that as a decimal of 0.25, and it is of the whole, which is $42. So if you multiply those, you get P equals $10.50. But that's not how much they paid. This is actually the price that they marked it up. So you have to find the selling price. So then we add $42 plus the markup price, and we get $52.50 would be the selling price, which would be what you would pay at the register if you bought the rollerblades. We can also find selling price by finding the total percent first. So we start with part on this side, and it equals percent times the whole. And so now we could figure out that we know that there is 100% plus the 25% to figure out what everything is, because 100% is how much that you're paying. You're paying what they bought plus 25%. So you're paying what they paid, the 100%, plus the 25% markup. So you're actually paying 125% of the item. So you would have the part, and then you would multiply it by the 125, and I turn that into a decimal, times the whole. And so if you multiply that, then that actually gives you what you're paying. Because if you remember the previous one, you added the $42 plus the markup. This is already including that $42, so it's saving you an extra step. Discount is the amount by which the regular price is reduced. So sometimes we hear things that say that an item is 50% off or 75% off, and we have to calculate that. So here's an example that says, Summer Sport is having a sale. A volleyball has an original piece of $59. It is on sale for $65 off the original price. Find the sale price. So the first thing you can do is you can take the price and multiply it by the percent, the 0.65 as a decimal, which will give you 38.35, but that's not what you're actually paying. The 38.35 is the amount that is discounted. So then you take the 59 and you subtract the 38.35, and you get $20.65 would be how much you would actually be paying once you bought the volleyball. The other way that you can do this same problem is to determine what percentage of the item are you actually paying. Since the item is discounted 65%, then that means that you're taking away 65%. So you're paying what's left. So you could subtract what you're taking away from the 100%, which means that you're paying 35% of the price. So then you could just multiply what you're paying, the 0.35 times the 59, which would get you $20.65, which would be what you would pay at the register for the volleyball. Pause the video to complete the lesson review. Make sure you show me this lesson review for verification of watching this video.